Hi, my name is Ruth Duran. I'm an MBA and a certified life coach, and I help immigrant women, businesswomen create more of the success that they want without working harder and longer than necessary, without the emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that comes from creating their goals. See, immigrant businesswomen are very hard workers. They're the ones who are going to get shit done, but unconsciously, they are causing themselves so much exhaustion by how they're getting things done. And all our thoughts drive all our feelings and thus all our actions. So if we are overactioning, overdoing, overreacting, overing, it's because of how we're thinking and we're feeling. And so one of the things that I help my clients do is I help them really identify why they're working harder and longer than necessary, why they're working harder than their peers, what is driving the overactioning, what is creating that. And so, why they're feeling mental and emotional exhaustion. And just one way, and I repeat, just one way I have found that this happens is by core wounds. Core wounds are thoughts that we picked up in our childhood that we concluded is just the way the world works. Core wounds are thoughts that we think are like laws of nature, like law of gravity, but they're just thoughts that the world doesn't operate around, but we have surrounded our life around it. Core wounds hold us back. And in this workbook and in the three-part video series that you will get for signing up for the workbook and the video series, you'll identify at least 22 common core wounds that I see with my clients. And they are slowing them down. They're exhausting them. They're creating them to work so much harder than they need to. And so four of them that I'd like to share with you today is four that I had that were very pervasive in my life. The first one is I grew up as a white woman, half caste in Kenya. I stood up like a sore thumb. My mother died when I was 3 and I was raised by a stepmother. And so I concluded at a very young age, at 5, that I didn't belong. I didn't belong in my group. I didn't belong in my family. I didn't belong anywhere. And these thoughts kept with me until I was 48 years old. It had me mute myself. It had me hide. It had me not show up as powerfully as I can. It had me never ask for what I needed. It had me just think that I had to work so much harder just to prove that I belonged at the table, in the room, in the boardroom. I had to work so much harder to prove that I belonged. Cost me time, energy, and success. The second thought was, I am not enough. My mother died when I was 3, and I remember watching all the other children with their mothers and believing that there's something wrong with me and I was not enough. And this thought, I remember when I shared this thought with my mentor. I was trying to go for a goal and she couldn't understand because she knew I was very capable. She knew I was a very smart, intelligent woman, and she couldn't understand why I was playing small. And I told her I didn't want to go powerfully because I didn't want to confirm this thought that I'm not enough. I didn't want to go for my goal so that I can conclude, here's another proof and evidence that I'm not enough. And so when she showed me this thought, I was able to see it's just a thought and it's not true. Next thought was, I am unsafe. I grew up in a country where we were punished as children. We all know that. We would do something and then we would punish and then we would think, I am not safe. I would show up and somebody would say something and I would make it mean something and I would conclude, I am not safe. I would show up and I would share my first draft with, for example, a supervisor, and the supervisor would give me feedback and I would conclude, I am unsafe. And so what that helped me do is it made me stop sharing. It helped me stop giving. It helped me stop being the person that I can be. And then if I finally get the courage to do it, It was convincing. It was persuasive. It was like overselling. It was like really showing up not confident. And the third thought is, I am powerless. We all have this. So many of us have this. We're adults in our lives. We're these powerful, strong adults who made decisions that impacted our lives. And we as children concluded we are powerless. And then we show up in our lives as adults and we still believe that thought. And then we go for a goal and we conclude, but I'm powerless. And though we don't see where our power lies, we don't see our authenticity, we don't see our value, we don't see how we can help people. And then we mute ourselves because we think we are powerless. And so these are just 4 of the 22 core wounds that I'll be sharing you with the videos below and the workbook, because identifying all of them will help you create more success faster, will help you create more of the result that you want without the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion. Core wounds affect our business because we overwork without the progress. Think about the thought, I don't belong. You can show up and do so many things trying to prove that you belong, but people going like, why is she convincing us? What is wrong with her? Why is she not confident? Why is she not courageous? But it's because it's coming from this thought, I don't belong. So many of my clients will think I am not enough like I did and not go for goals, not go for things that they are more than qualified for. Go for another degree, go for another certification, go for another training because they think I am not enough. So I have to earn my enoughness. I have to work for my enoughness instead of going for the opportunities that they're more than qualified for. The other one is, if, for example, if I'm thinking I am unsafe and feeling all this fear, I'm going to try to gain all this courage and gain all this confidence by doing all these things, draining me of time, energy, money, and effort. So when we uncover these core wounds, we're also then able to decide on purpose how we want to show up. Because our thoughts fuel our feelings, which drive all our actions. Think about if you believed I belong. I belong in any room I walk into. I belong in any boardroom. I belong at any table. Think about how you would feel and what you would do versus when you think I don't belong. And so below, sign up for the workbook and the 3-part video that I will share with you so you can identify your core wounds. Because once you identify your core wounds, you'll start working smarter. You'll start showing up more powerful. You start creating more of what you want. You will be able to start identifying how you're causing yourself to create more work for yourself, how you're working harder and longer than you need to, how you're creating mental and physical exhaustion so that you can start breaking that cycle so that you can go for what you want with so much more fuel and energy and create more of the result that you want without the additional layer of exhaustion. When you sign up, you will get my 3-part video where we will dive deeper into some additional core wounds. And then you will also get access to the workbook that has all 22 core wounds that I have identified that I find especially with immigrant businesswomen. See, immigrant businesswomen, we are carrying around this heavy load of all these core wounds, and we are really working really hard to disprove these core wounds, but we don't even know they're there. We're watching other women, I'm going to say it, other women who don't have these core wounds, white women who don't have these core wounds, and wondering how are they creating the success that they want so much faster. And it's because they don't have these core wounds like shackles on them as they're going for their goals. But once we identify them and clean them up, we get to go further. We get to create more. We get to show up powerfully. We get to show up confidently. We get to show up the way we want to. With these core wounds, we're frustrated, we're exhausted, we're overwhelmed. Without these core wounds, it's more fun to go for what you want. I speak from experience, and I've done it both ways. And I would give $1 million to go back and uncover these so much faster. For you, it's free. The link is below. Have a blessed day. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.